and welcome. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Ava Kaplan. I'm so incredibly honored to be speaking in front of you all today. I want to take a moment to genuinely thank everyone for being here to celebrate with, and to thank the Wilton High School staff and administration, as well as everyone who participated in the behind-the-scenes execution of this ceremony. I also want to thank my family, who I know is taking up an entire row somewhere in the stadium. And my mom especially, just for everything in general. Freshman me didn't understand what the big deal about graduation was. High school graduation just seemed like the natural progression of things. Why did we need this whole ceremony with all the pomp and circumstance? I now realize, having grown a little bit, what an incredibly privileged thought that was to have. So before I go further, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge all of the equally deserving individuals who have never had the chance to get to this point, whether it be because they're denied an education because of their sex, or because wherever they live is in so much turmoil that it is unsafe to go to school, or they have been barred from our country, or a country where they could get the education they deserve, or even in our own country because their local school systems are critically underfunded, or because they have been killed on the basis of their race or sexuality, or have been a victim of gun violence, or the hundreds of other reasons that have prevented smart, capable students from graduating, that we as a community have never had to encounter. I consider myself, and really all of us, incredibly lucky to have grown up in this safe, nurturing town where, although we have our own challenges, almost my entire class can be here today celebrating our high school graduation. Within our own community, we commemorate this day for many reasons, but the main one, in my humble opinion, is the following. It's because high school is hard. So, congrats everyone, we've earned this. Woo. Woo. I'm gonna let my glasses fall off, all right. Although I'd like to declare myself an expert on post-high school graduation life, I have no idea what's in store for all of us. However, I do consider myself an expert on my life leading up to graduation, and the moments and years that we as a class have spent together, culminating in this very moment. Some of us have been going to school together since kindergarten. There are classmates here right now who I was classmates with when I was 4 years old. And there are some of you graduating with me today who have only gone to Wilton Public Schools for a year or two, and yet you have equally experienced what we as a group of people and what we as a town have to offer, including the good, like our charming 5-star colonial gazebo that sits on the lawn outside of our local CVS, and the bad, like the fact that the gazebo is Wilton's main attraction other than our proximity to the city. I'll also truly miss being able to say the city and have everyone know exactly which city I'm referring to. Because of this, I've spent a lot of time thinking about the hours we've spent together and the collective experiences that will define us and unite us for the rest of our lives. The stories I will tell about our high school and about our town and about growing up will all be variations on your stories. Because although I haven't had a conversation with many of you in years, if ever, we will both be telling our friends or our children or whoever we happen to be reminiscing with in however long from now about the same town, the same jungle, and the same trash that you guys always leave in the jungle. We'll share photos from the same parties, the same slot, and for some of us, the same elementary school classrooms. We'll all hate the color orange for the rest of our lives, and we'll all know that even though Ridgefield is public enemy #1, we all secretly believe that Darien is the worst town in the SEAC. And I'll tell people who have never heard of Wilton, Connecticut, about the time our senior class played Nerf Gun Assassin, and the stories I recount will be forever connected to yours. And for that, I am so grateful, because wherever we all end up, and regardless of who we each were in high school, we'll all be connected by these shared experiences and memories for the rest of our lives. I'm grateful for the people who showed up on a cold day in November to spend time with their classmates, start a tradition, and paint their parking spots. And especially those who stuck it out even when parking overflow from a swim meet at the Y blocked their spots. I'm grateful for the people who sacrifice their egos by sticking to my level and becoming theater kids for the sake of class bonding during senior show. You guys are truly brave. I'm grateful that if Belden couldn't win senior class field day, it was Ken, because we all know that they've always been the underdogs. I'm grateful for safe rides in the earliest hours of the morning in a car with someone who I never had the chance to really get to know outside of that drive. Being a Wilton Warrior has defined my life so far. This exact group of people in this exact school has taught me the skills and lessons that I'll take with me for the rest of my life. If I could give any advice, it would be not to forget that. It would be to constantly remind yourself that I and everyone who has helped you and been by your side to this exact moment will still be here for you on the other side of this ceremony. All of us have far more similarities than differences, regardless of what arises on Ask.fm or Wilton 412. And I could stand here and reminisce about class of 2019 moments for hours, but we have the rest of our lives to do that. Plus, all of our grandparents in the audience, including my own, already have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm so thankful for the laughs and lessons that you all have brought into my life, and I cannot wait to see what the future has in store for us. Thank you all, and congratulations. And now, Mr. Terrio will introduce the class valedictorian.
Graduates, families, distinguished guests, I am deeply honored and privileged to have this opportunity to introduce the class of 2019 valedictorian. This student has earned the distinction through dedication and commitment to excellence in the classroom, in athletic pursuits, and in the school community. Her hard work, drive, and spirit have led her to maintain a 3.99 grade point average throughout all 4 years at Wilton High School, while taking a course load that included some of the most rigorous and challenging classes in our academic program. She's also excelled in athletics, playing lacrosse and serving as the captain of the varsity girls basketball team. As a result of her achievement, she has compiled an impressive list of awards for scholarship, leadership, and character, including the CABE Award and the Jack Award, as well as gaining recognition as an AP Scholar, a National Merit Commended Scholar, an FCIAC Exemplary Scholar Athlete, and a Wilton High School 4-year Scholar Athlete. She has made a positive impact on our school community through her work as a class officer and a member of the Student Government Executive Board, as well as participating in numerous activities, including the National Honor Society, Top Inclusion Models, and Safe Rides. Amidst all the accolades and recognition, she remains a humble, kind, and generous individual who approaches life with honesty, integrity, and empathy. Next year, she will bring her intellectual curiosity and love of learning to Brown University, where she intends to study English and economics. I am proud to introduce your class of 2019 valedictorian, Maddie Burke.
Thank you for the introduction, Mr. Terrio. Good afternoon, Wilton High School class of 2019, and congratulations to each and every one of you. It is an absolute honor to be able to stand before a group of individuals that is so exceptionally vibrant, accomplished, and poised to take on the world. My purpose today is to offer some form of wisdom, some suggestion of purpose, or a speck, a glimmer of hope that will carry us into the next phase of our lives with a sense of assuredness. But when I really thought about it, I'm not sure I can do that. I'm 18, I still can't confidently park between two cars, and I'm almost positive that I left my hair straightener plugged in back at my house. Sorry about that, Mom. I don't have the power to glimpse into our futures and report back with any highlights. I can't promise that it'll be sunny and dry on your wedding day, or that the human race won't face an early demise due to the devastating effects of climate change. I can't even promise that you will win the AirPods at PGP, or that the sunrise at Campo Beach tomorrow morning will be the spectacular shades of pink, orange, and yellow that our Snapchat stories so desire. But admittedly, there are some things that I do know. I know that completing 4 years at this high school has taught us a myriad of lessons. Some that we may forget, but others that we will remember for the rest of our lives. In other words, we are done here. This is it. But today, Saturday, June 15th, 2019, is just a pin, a road marker, a geotag, if you will, that defines a culmination, the totality of our academic, moral, and social education thus far. Today is a day to let you know that you've made it, but it's also a day to think about who you are now and to remember who and what you've been before. Even though there is a finality in the air, we mustn't forget that the school behind me and the ones just down the road taught us to be, in every sense of the word. We learned and we wondered and we cried and we laughed and we grew up together within the four walls of those buildings. So after 13 years, there must be some things we all know. Number one, it is important to hold the door, especially the heavy one on the 3rd floor near staircase 4. Holding doors is a nonverbal communication that we support the person behind us. It signals connection, camaraderie, and kindness, all traits we fostered here. And while we're at it, we know that it's right to let people back out of their parking spots during the 2:55 traffic jam. We've learned how to be selfless. Number 2, working together makes a difference. How many cider mill tug-of-war champions are in the crowd today? We've learned to honor our commitments, to trust our classmates, and to be team players. After all, it took a whole lot of teamwork to break that Middlebrook playground with the vigor that you guys did. Whether group projects, wind ensembles, or a classic game of math ball in gym class, we've been our best when we've been together. Number 3, look to your left, and now look to your right. The people around you have likely taught you how to be more than any book, exam, or lecture ever could. The memories you've shared with friends, or teammates, or acquaintances will be the ones that will ignite your 40-year-old self with a spark of nostalgia, driving you to call up those goofballs you met in high school. Since freshman year, we've spent almost 5,000 hours with each other. We've learned to be friendly, to be cheerful, but with a hint of snide self-deprecation, and to be endlessly supportive. We've learned that our relationships with one another have brought the brightest light into all of our lives. And number 4, we've become whatever it is we wanted to become. Personally, I wore an enormous pink bow in my hair on the first day of freshman year. And to tell you the truth, I just might wear a bow to PGP tonight. So maybe I'll always be Maddie Burke, the girl who wears bows in her hair. But we have all grown up to be scholars and activists and notable athletes and distinguished performers and aspiring playwrights and inquisitive student journalists and wonderful friends and above all, people. We've become the people we will continue to be after we leave this field today. So, class of 2019, go be those people. Never forget to lock your gym locker. Always keep your head up amidst the chaos of life's 5-minute passing period. Continue to make noise, bring a smile to the faces of others, and play Super Smash Brothers in whatever becomes your next jungle. Strive for excellence. Be courageous. Be dazzlingly bright. Be selfless. And yes, at the right times, maybe a little selfish. Be smart. We didn't take all those hard classes for nothing. Be bold, be kind, be good. Just be. Thank you. And now for the exciting part. It is my pleasure to stand before you today and introduce our graduation speaker. I don't exaggerate when I say it would be hard to find a student who doesn't know and love her for the genuine kindness she displays inside and outside of the classroom. This woman is the epitome of everything a high school teacher should be. She is incredibly wise, energetic, selfless, and radiates positivity in all situations. She opens her door to students, offering a tissue, a power outlet, or a quiet, comfortable place to take a 30-minute nap. Whether teaching about Lord of the Flies and vocabulary words in freshman English, or trying, and usually succeeding, to explain the meaning of life to seniors in Search for Self and modern European authors, her insight is matched only by her enthusiasm for literature and language. In addition to teaching, she serves as the Executive Board Faculty Co-Advisor, alongside the extraordinary Dr. Christina Harvey, her best friend of 15 years. After graduating from Bucknell University, she attended graduate school at the University of Pennsylvania and took her first job as an English teacher at our very own Wilton High School. Now, 26 years later, she continues to teach with tremendous passion, meeting students and colleagues alike with empathy, generosity, and a smile. We are truly so lucky to have her. I was fortunate enough to be one of her students during the fall semester of my junior year. Since then, not a school day has passed that I didn't stop by her room for advice, a hug, a snack, or even a Tide stain stick. I know that I, like so many of us, will look back on my high school career and remember that she taught me not only the course material, but also how to be a better person. This woman champions her students' successes, guides them through challenges, and encourages us all to be more thoughtful, deliberate, and sincere. When she is not devoting her efforts to WHS, she spends time with friends and family, raising her two sons, one a soon-to-be sophomore in college, and the other a recent high school graduate. This woman exemplifies everything that is right about Wilton High School. Despite having just one semester course with her, I will forever be grateful for the profound impact she's had on me. I'm sure that most of you have experienced this too. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce to you the incomparable Mrs. Jean Bray.
Thank you, Maddie, and thank you to the entire class of 2019 for asking me to speak to you here today. When Mr. Liptuck asked me if I would be the graduation speaker, I was truly honored, but I needed some time to decide how I would respond. For teachers, the end of the year is always chaotic, but with my own son graduating and family visiting just days before Wilton's graduation, I knew this was going to be an intense time. However, when I realized I had the opportunity to speak to the entire class of 2019 without one of you raising a hand and asking to go to the bathroom or get a drink of water, especially those of you in my period 8 class, I knew I had to accept the offer. Joking aside, I'm honored and truly happy to be here. The first time I was asked to be the graduation speaker, I had just finished my 4th year of teaching at Wilton High School. I had joined the faculty at Wilton when those graduating seniors were freshmen. So in a sense, we had both gone through enormous change together in the previous 4 years. Since that last speech, I've gotten married and had 2 sons, one who graduated last June, and the other who graduated just 3 days ago. Throughout the past 2 years, my family has been living all the excitement, nostalgia, and sentimentality of 2 senior years back to back, with a heightened awareness of how poignant and ephemeral it all is. Now, as an English teacher who is well aware of the patterns that unite and weave throughout our lives, I see symbolic meaning in the timing of this speech. When the class of 2019 became high school students, so did my younger son. And as you all have gone through your high school years, I have experienced this stage as a mom, and I have loved it all. Once again, I see a parallel between myself and the graduating class, as we are both poised to undergo dramatic change, and we pause to reflect as we leave one stage of life before we move into the next. As someone who often resists change, I've been thinking a lot about its persistence and inevitability as I watch my own children grow up, graduate, and move out into the world. When I was about 5 months pregnant with my older son, and my mom brought me to a local Carter's children's clothing outlet to do our first shop for the baby. When we didn't know if it was a boy or a girl, we called him Braby. I immediately had a negative reaction to the Carter slogan, which was written on signs or throughout the store and on the tags that were attached to each item of clothing. If only they could stay little. I thought it was incredibly selfish that parents would want their children to stay little, that they would want their children not to have the chance to grow and develop in order to satisfy some need of the parent. However, after I had my own children and experienced the milestones that mark the passage from toddler to child to teenager, I completely understood the desire to freeze time. I wanted to hang on to the sweetness of my children's youth, their gentle innocence, and the feeling of having so much time ahead. Even though you are all much younger than I think you are aware of and appreciate the fleeting nature of time. Many of you that I taught as freshmen visited my room in your last days of senior year, remembering which desk you sat at and those who sat around you. You felt nostalgic as you recalled funny moments, unfortunate hairstyles, and bad fashion trends. On May 17th, your last official day as a student before internship, the same day you brought your dogs to school and a pickup truck miraculously appeared inside the cafeteria, I asked the seniors in my classes to share advice about senior year with their junior classmates. In each of my classes, you said you couldn't believe how quickly the year flew by. You told the juniors to soak up high school while they could, because it goes so fast. Go to the games, the plays, the concerts, the improv shows. Watch the sunset with your family. Stay up late talking with your friends, for before you know it, it will all be a memory. 2 of you stayed after school just to talk, to process the significance of the day. One of you said that you left each of your classes on that last day to walk around the halls alone, paying special attention to the details that made up your world for the past 4 years. The lockers where you stored your books, your favorite spot to sit in the jungle, the classroom where you studied Romeo and Juliet, the stage where you auditioned for senior show, the spot in the senior hallway where you posed for pictures on senior toga day, the locker room where you anticipated games and celebrated wins. You were fully aware that these details and moments were special precisely because they were fleeting, and soon they would be a part of your past. Before I came to teach in Wilton, one of my best friends from high school sent me a poem by Richard Wilbur entitled "The Beautiful Changes" that I taped to the cubby above my desk. This poem helped me in a time of transition in my own life as it celebrates the beauty of change. And within this poem about change, the title itself, "The Beautiful Changes," is purposely ambiguous. It can either be interpreted to mean that the beautiful things change or that the changes themselves are beautiful. Wilbur writes, "The beautiful changes as a forest is changed, got by a chameleon's tuning his skin to it. As a mantis, arranged on a green leaf, grows into it, makes the leaf leafier, and proves any greenness is deeper than anyone knows." Wilbur suggests that the chameleon's ability to change its skin color impacts the entire forest, and this is beautiful. Similarly, the praying mantis, by simply existing, becomes one with its new environment, changes the leaf, and deepens its essence. Wilbur concludes his poem by stating that when the beautiful changes in such kind ways, it allows for the discovery of a second finding, which results in wonder. Consider how this theme applies to this moment in your life. As you transform in your lives after high school, you will change the places you inhabit and the people within those environments. And though these changes often involve loss, the changes provide a second finding that brings the possibility of beauty and wonder. This theme about finding beauty in change is also illustrated in the play No Exit by Jean-Paul Sartre that many of you read in my Modern European Authors class. It's a short play about three people trapped in a room together for eternity. Soon enough, readers learn that the three characters are dead. And even though Sartre himself did not believe in an afterlife, he set his play in hell to metaphorically express his theme about what it means to be alive. Though the prominent themes of this play surround the fact that freedom to define ourselves is limited by other people, another aspect of this play that recently struck me as a mother of a senior is that this room is hell for the three characters because they are dead and they cannot change. For eternity, their essence will be exactly the same as it was at the moment that they died. The inverse of Sartre's theme is that this life is extraordinary because it offers the possibility for change, evolution, and choice. Not only do we get to change, but we get to choose how we will change and who we will become. And it is in this theme that a poem about beautiful changes and a play about hell intersect. Both assert that there is beauty in change, as it offers a chance for a second finding that leads to beauty and wonder. When we think about the inevitability of the monumental changes that will occur in your life, we can choose to feel both sadness for the loss and joy for the growth and discovery that change entails. For years, your English teachers have asked you to track character development in the text you read because the author's theme is often expressed through the character's growth. So here's my advice. Be aware of who you are and how your words and actions denote your character. Consider carefully how your decisions will impact your growth. Be intentional in your personal development, for it is in these developments and changes that the message or the theme of your life resides. As Tennyson imagines Odysseus, ready to leave Ithaca, his home, to explore new lands, Odysseus pauses and thinks, I am a part of all that I have met. Last poetry lesson, monosyllabic line, iambic pentameter, I am a part of all that I have met. As you go through the beautiful changes in your lives, pause, remember, and appreciate that you are a part of all that you have met. And your life here in Wilton, your classmates, teachers, employers, coaches, friends, and family will always be inextricably woven into your story. Congratulations, class of 2019.
afternoon, graduates, students, parents, community members, Dr. Smith, and members of our Board of Education. It is truly an honor to address the Wilton High School graduating class of 2019. Graduates, I am so proud of you and the way you have performed this school year in every aspect of your school lives. You have represented yourselves, your families, and our school in such an exemplary manner. I consistently receive such positive feedback about you from teachers, staff, and community members. Today and beyond, you are the pride of Wilton. Graduates, in my brief remarks, I'd like to accomplish three things. I want to celebrate your accomplishments, share a few insights on your leadership potential, and talk about the next steps for you leaving the Wilton bubble after graduation. This has, by all measures, been a great school year for this outstanding class of 2019. You have enjoyed friendships that have endured 12 years since your humble beginnings at Miller Driscoll School. Over the years, you have welcomed and embraced friends who were new to Wilton. These priceless friendships were evident at your senior barbecue, your yearbook signings, your last bell ceremony. At your senior symposium, you stood ready to discuss your internships, but you gravitated to engage with friends that you may have seen less of since the end of classes a few short weeks ago. At the beginning of the year, your homecoming celebration was nearly perfect as the school was filled with spirit and laughter. Other highlights included the music trip to Philadelphia, many successful concerts, amazing accomplishments in the fine arts, including national awards, and challenging and successful athletic campaigns. Your senior show, Get Your Prom On, was a highlight, although you gave Mrs. Kaz and Mary Jo a few gray hairs and a few sleepless nights in preparation for the big show. Your spring musical, Newsies, with many senior actors, was truly one for the ages and widely acclaimed, winning the coveted Halo Award in Wilton's first year at this event. Graduates, your Wilton High School faculty members, many of whom are sitting with you at today's ceremony, have also been deeply impressed with your successes and your leadership. You also owe them a debt of gratitude for the support and the tutelage that they have provided you throughout your journey. Mrs. Bray, your chosen graduation speaker, is simply emblematic of the talent and dedication of this outstanding teaching faculty at Wilton High School. When I was reflecting on this class and our school year together, I considered your leadership, specifically that of Ava, George, and Maddie, and your formal leaders. Historically, I have met regularly with the student body president to discuss and solve important matters in the school community. This year, we employed a different model where I met every other week with the entire executive board and Mrs. Bray and Dr. Harvey. What impressed me deeply was the distributive leadership and teamwork among your class leaders. They were constantly striving to ensure that your high school experience was fun, rewarding, and meaningful. In fact, it seems as if they have organized quite a successful graduation ceremony for you here today. Thank you to our student leadership. Graduates, however, that distributive leadership goes far beyond the executive board and class officers. This class has amazing leadership capacity, and speaking for the adults in the audience today, we need your leadership. To our parents, thank you for raising such wonderful kids who are now promising young adults. I personally am deeply heartened and optimistic about the input that these graduates will have on our town, our country, and on the world. Graduates, you are capable of exemplifying focus and perseverance while simultaneously demonstrating kindness and humility. You will have the training and capacity to research and design technology that will improve the health and wellness of our citizens and communities. It will be your future charge to promote social services that will mitigate the impact of mental health challenges on our families and our society. You can seize the opportunity to network in some of the best colleges and universities in the world and shape policy at the state, national, and international levels. I know that your moral courage will impel you to draw the line against acts of discrimination and racism that have experienced a resurgence in recent years. Graduates, these are only a few of the causes that require your leadership as you embark on your next journey throughout the states and the globe. As you prepare to receive your Wilton High School diploma, it will be time for most of you to leave what is often described as the Wilton bubble. There are many good things about the Wilton bubble: the security and support of your families, pride in your schools, safety, a level of certainty, and the sense that you have a community that cares deeply about you. However, some would argue that this bubble has limited your experiences with things like diversity, culture, and perhaps other perspectives. Some of you may not realize that you are in this bubble, but soon you will. A few days ago, I had a visit from an alumnus of Wilton High School, and I was writing my speech and discussed with him the Wilton bubble. This alumnus, who went on to college in a large U.S. city and now works in Chicago, and in fact, one of his siblings is sitting among you in the graduating seats today. So I asked about his perspective on the Wilton High School experience and his subsequent transition to college in a major U.S. city. His observation was that there is a lot of passion and opportunity in our schools and town. There are also amazing people that you will stay in touch with for a long time. In this very moment, at graduation, it may seem that this transition is complex and you just have too much going on. But this alumnus said, just remember, there will always be uncertainty in the future, but you will always have an amazing start due to the Wilton schools. Give it 1, 2, 5, or 6 years, and you can return, walk the halls, see former teachers, reconnect with old friends, and realize that everything turned out all right. So graduates, you are ready to leave the bubble, and I will share with you the thought that I often share with alumni when they return to visit me in the school, because in a few short minutes, you will have your coveted diploma, and you will officially be alumni. The message is simple. Remember that this is and will always be your high school. Dr. Smith, I present to you the Wilton High School graduating class of 2019.
Good afternoon, class of 2019, parents, family members, esteemed colleagues, and honored guests. I have the distinct pleasure this evening of presenting the class of 2019 to our Board of Education. It is my honor to do so, and I hope to actually continue on the themes introduced by Ava, Maddie, and Mrs. Bray. Commencement is one of those unique milestone opportunities that allows us to look forward and backwards. Momentarily, all that you have experienced as students, all that you have accomplished, all that you have felt will be past. It is moments like this one that reminds us about the nature of time. When we most want it to fly, it seems to stand still, like right now when I'm speaking. And when we want it to stop, it seems to evaporate. I shared with a few of your classmates last week that your high school career lasts approximately 2 million minutes. Where did those minutes go? In just a few more minutes, you will officially be graduates. alumni and alumnae of Wilton High School, no longer focused on completing this chapter, but fully focused on writing the next. In the words of Dr. Seuss, how did it get so late so soon? Clearly, you, the class of 2019, are accomplished. You have demonstrated the highest levels of achievement in the classroom, on the stage, and on the athletic field. Perhaps more than accomplishments themselves, what is important is how you got there. The cooperation, the collaboration, the camaraderie, the teamwork that it took to achieve so highly. As you move on from Wilton High School, it is my hope that you will take with you all the lessons learned from the relationships you formed and the relationships that helped form you. I'm reminded of the Lakota Sioux expression, mitakuye oyasin, which, roughly translated, means all things related. The meaning is far more profound and significant than the word suggests. In the Lakota culture, the expression has social, temporal, and cosmological dimensions. It suggests first that we and all living things are connected through a great web of life. It also suggests that we are connected to all those who came before and to all those who will come after. So if we recognize that we're in some way connected to everything in existence, then all that we say and do matters and has significance well beyond what we may be able to conceive. For an image, think of a pebble being dropped in a still pond and the ripples that it creates. With this concept in mind, I'd like to share one more brief story before you go. I heard this very recently, and I think the retelling here is apropos. Years ago in Texas, there was a terrible drought. One small farming community was hit particularly hard. The pastor of the church in that community told his parishioners that they were going to end the drought by coming together and praying for rain. He organized a service, and the entire community attended. As the service ended, there was still no rain. Not to be discouraged, the pastor suggested that they hold an additional service. In his mind, they just needed to pray longer. The next service would take place over the course of an entire weekend, non-stop, morning, noon, and night. So the service was held, and again, the entire town participated. It became evident, as the service unfolded, that there were still no rain clouds to be seen. At the conclusion of the service, tired and frustrated, the pastor turned to his congregation and said, "This is all your fault. You are the reason there is no rain." Shocked, angry, and confused, the congregation stared back at the pastor in silence. Finally, one parishioner, an elderly woman, stood and addressed the pastor. She asked, "Why? Why would you blame us for no rain?" The pastor stood for a moment, took a breath, and responded, "None of you brought your umbrellas." With that, the congregation filed out. Now, I don't know if it ever actually rained in that community, but here's the point of this story and my message to you all as you look forward. Mitakuye oyasin, all things are related. Let your actions convey the power of your beliefs. Believe in yourself, believe in your incredible capacity to do tremendous good in this world, believe in the transformative power of the relationships you cultivate with others. Allow your behavior to communicate to others what you believe and who you are. And finally, if by some chance you ever find yourself praying for rain, carry an umbrella. Well, class of 2019, it's been a great pleasure to watch you grow and learn. We now find ourselves at my favorite part of this speech, in which I get to officially declare you graduates. Parents, colleagues, guests, it is with great pride and great pleasure that I now pronounce, by the authority vested in me, by the state of Connecticut, and by the Wilton Board of Education, as superintendent of schools, I do hereby certify to all in attendance on this 15th day of June in the year of 2019 that the members of the class of 2019 here before me have successfully completed requirements for graduation established by the state of Connecticut and by the Wilton Board of Education and are eligible to be graduated from Wilton High School. I do now declare them graduated. Madam Chairman. Madam Chairman, I present to you and to the Board of Education the class of 2019. Thank you.
On behalf of the Board of Education, my sincere congratulations to the class of 2019. And congratulations to also to your parents and family members who have been such an important part of your accomplishments. As we celebrate each day, I hope you know that our whole town is smiling with you and is proud of this class. Because Wilton is that sort of town. It's truly a place where people know and care about each other and wish them well. As you finish this chapter of your lives, the end of your schooling here in Wilton, know that you will always have this special town to come back to you, a place that will always have your back. In early March, several members of this class traveled to Hartford to attend a hearing of the State Education Committee in which legislators were considering an awful idea to force school districts to consolidate with each other based on several flawed arguments that we won't go into here. About a dozen of you actually got up the nerve to testify, and I listened, really listened to what you had to say, and so did everyone else. You spoke from the heart about how much your Wilton education has meant to you, and about the sacrifices your parents have made to allow you to live here and attend Wilton High School. And you talked about our wonderful community and how growing up in our little town has defined you and made you who you are. We were the only town to have such a show of force that day. I happened to be sitting with a Board of Education member from another town, and she commented on how passionate and articulate our students were. It was a great day for Wilton, and since that proposal was ultimately defeated, a good lesson in the importance of standing up for what's right. I hope you will always feel that way about our town and about your experiences in Wilton High School. Over the years, we have seen that same level of passion shine through in other ways. Whether you wowed our community with an amazing theater or music performance, including last month's award-winning Newsies production, or showed your grit on the athletic field or on the debate stage, or gave your time to a community service organization, or managed to hold down a job while juggling your schoolwork, please know how your community has enjoyed watching you grow into the fine young men and women you are today. As we prepare to send you off, know that your parents, your town, and of course your teachers have given you the very finest education. You have the knowledge, skills, and wherewithal to succeed in any situation. You'll never outgrow your hometown, so please come back often. Wilton will be a little emptier without you next fall, but know that wherever your next stop takes you, you take our very best wishes and pride with you. And with that, on behalf of the Board of Education, our sincerest congratulations to you on this special day.
Ava Karen Kaplan. Tina Moya. Madeline Grace Burke. Kate Burns Siller. Flynn Crowther. Andrew Santacroce. George Aiden Murphy. Kimberly Taylor Castano. Devin Jane Dooley. Marguerite Frances Koch. Kira Elizabeth Finelli. Isabel Grace Shane. Bianca Stephanie Jukakito.
Sarah Fennessy.
Xavier Caleb Braden Musevi. Davis Conroy Langhoff.
Lila Olive Hastings. Catherine Campbell Stevenson. Morgan Elizabeth Dill. Mackenzie Reagan McCormick. Emily N. Asif. Olivia Jewel Borden. Eleanor Margaret Emery. Caroline Marie Troy. Maggie McCarthy Walsh. Michaela Yee. Rachel Grace Sparrow Wilson.
Shane Daniel Gast. Andrew Senef. Grace Marie Bronner. Jerry Elizabeth Fox. Colleen Elizabeth Brady. Hannah Elizabeth Taylor. Jana L. Gummins. Alessandra Marie Passanitti. Shika Dharmesh Shah. Jessica Melanie Olin. Alexandra Edwards.
Natalie Hartford Wallen. Juliana Musili. Eleanor Page Chrisman.
Andrew Kelso. Ryan Douglas Biberon. Brandon Robert Johnson. Tyler James Dare. Gregory Anthony McAdams. Dylan J. Kennedy. Matthew King.
Isabella King. Emily Jane Parody. Emma Eve Rothkopf. Victoria Louise Andrew. Kyle Christopher Brody. Chloe Emma Mandel. Hallie Jolie Chabrier. Amal Karandakar.
Henry Paul Connors.
Evan McLeod Harley.
Case Derlin Stewart. Benjamin David Grass.
Leah McCoy Jenkins.
Tyler Andrew Zengo. Benjamin Lewis Ianzi. Sean Edward Carlson. Connor Wilhelm Adams. Devin William Pulaski. Conrad Richard Everett. Jefferson. Connor Francis Lee. Noah Ryan Pecue. Taylor Loud. Madison Hahn Shattenfield. Madeline Rose McCahey. Tatum Majorie Kelly. Shannon Grace Rowe. Sophia Straza. Cara Bates. Taylor Elizabeth White. Caitlin Eva Reif. Grace Elizabeth Rava. Anna Victoria Rava. Anna Lauren Travers. Oh no. Sabrina Hartz. Christopher John Ferguson Jr. Mary Collius. Margaret Catherine Fizel. Brooke Taffler. Alyssa Leanne Jarrett. Meryl Criswell Katabowski. Yashika Nana. Leah Moore. Rebecca John. Alessia Bella Scaturcio. Adam Edward Harley. Daniel Navio Atavi. Ryan Wood. Chase Powers Connolly. Julia Rothstein. Isabel Mary Giller. Annika Devi Shrivastava. Lily Ellen Keeley. Jake Samuel Stein. Zachary Bruce Diedrich.
Judd Jacob.
Vincent Sexton. Ryan John Schreiber. Andrew Joseph Fucciera. Christian Michael Weber. Christopher Patrick Tinkin. August Euclides Theoharides. Lucas T. Uriarty. Joseph Bohax. Lindsay Foster Groves. Lily Anna Essex. Kristen Nicole Farmer. Valentina Montalbano. Charlotte Rigby. Maxwell Schwartz. Madeline Sarah Davison. Arissa Cowie. Michael Joseph Terza. Charlie Aliaga Kelly. Ryan Joseph Gerline. Dylan William Poyano. Anna Urafino and Peter Dominic Urafino. Christopher Andrew Lancaster. Alex J. Villanueva Ortega. Emmanuel Bazile. Connor Colton Wright. Alexander Eustace. Nicholas W. Condos. Clayton Edward Adams. Anthony Michael Catino. James Brian Kinnian. Jonathan Martin Cabler, Andreen Reed, Jane Daisy Conachonis, Max Thors, Sean Michael Flanagan, Dylan Patrick Flanagan, Benjamin Olson, Brendan Barrett Connor, Charlie Goldburn, John Thomas Cady, Cameron Farrar, Matthew Johnson, Jiffy Lessica, Matthew David Newfield, Mackenzie Ryder Smith, Brianna Faith Katina, Hannah Jewel Bracken, Noelle Claire Roseman, Olivia Benjamin, Emma Isabella Kermeri, Grace Antonina Bracken, Audrey Brooke Ellsbury, Alexandra Vandenberg Myers, Jonna Eleanor Filipponi, Robin Noel Clasby, Cooper Julia Spezzano, Courtney L. Connolly, Carly Jacqueline Williams, Molly Frances Foster, Naya Foster, Lily Melissa Motika, Rachel West, Eliza R. Snyder, Emily Catherine Welch, Angela Z, Leah Tiuna Anderson, Elizabeth Anna Scaparata, Catherine Chase Johnson, Juliana Teresa Hugh, Nancy Corcoran Healy, John Anthony Cassone, Alexis Kiss, Agatha Marie Favilla, Samantha Elise Huffman, Kiana Jacqueline Nobumoto, Juliana Suzanne Stigi, Quinn L. Lupton, Jasmine Portia Whitaker, Shreya Mona Sina, Zareen Sayeda Reza, Emma Elizabeth Driver, Sylvia Zab, Arden Phoenix Lee, Amber Sheen Lee, Elizabeth Celia Yoon, Kate McCabe, Hope Leah Ullman, Teresi Hikleva, Tyler Frederick Warren,
Rebecca Darby Sherwood.
Connor James Wyman Jr. Joseph Francis Apuzzo III. J.D. Stewart IV. Gordon Charles Stewart V. Juliana Lisa Russo. Yanni Marieli Garcia. Gabrielle Horica. Andrea Marie Wimmers. Emily Ann O'Brien.
Shanna G. Kozar. Caitlin Paige Hurl. Madeline June Jillian. Margaret Cecilia Wingardson. Sonali Nagpal. Dilshad Dinshaw.
Pauline Jean Hendricks. Liberty Cook. Julia Nicole Morano. Nora Walsh.
Isabella Stubbs. Alexandra Rose Dejana. Willem Van Pelt. Henry Stallwell Murphy. Carly Ray Smith. Lindsay Eileen Hand.
Bridget Rosamond Wall. Olivia Faith Dexter. Caroline Elizabeth Coffey. Julia Elizabeth Skillen. Quinn Annette Fleming. Phoebe Zosha Beshley. Jane Marie Guglielmo. Carly Parks Sullivan. Quist Rose Reagan Robin Smith. Sarah Emily Wiltshire. Isabella Nicole Rendy. Delia Ray Rayleigh. Alexandra Sensei Rakowski. Erica Stang.
Luke Marcus Gorgie. Tyler Christopher Previtt. William Eric Holmquist.
Riley Bingaman. Nico Benalcazar. Kyle Tyler Phillips. Michael Thomas Andrami.
Nicholas Patrick Kroningsberg.
Zachary Patrick Posey. Dean Carl Ganana. Zachary Michael Rossi. Drew Reddington Perlin. William Augustus Jackson Ronk. Thomas James Costello. Sean Patrick Travers.
Cole Hunter Judelson. Marcelo Duvall. Joseph Graham. Maxim A. Colburn.
Andrew Dominic Calabrese. Joseph Louis Seaman III. Michael Joseph DiCostanzo. Alexander Charles Pica. Brian Suey. Andrew John Luciano. Liam Thomas Sullivan. Max J. English. Christopher M. Porcelli.
Ryan Timothy Looney. Vaibhav Sadunemi. Aiden Thomas Duran. Matthew Woods. Joshua Garrett Farhi. Nicholas L. Shade. Willem Lecomte. Andrew Danielle Abikaram. John Timothy Chowinski III. Victoria Michelle Chowinski.
John Robert Cromwell. Silas Sam Sadeghi. Clayton James Latone. Theodore Amos Hattenback. Brant George Williams. Rohit Kathandaram. Anthony David Wilcox.
Hannah Belanger. Isabella Rose Siegel. Andrew Joseph Siegel. Maxwell Von Barfield. Reed Davis O'Brien. Samantha Rose Tate. Anthony Christopher Calderon.
Alex Lee. Parag Angraji. Abigail Meha. Owen Wilton Wardle. Harrison Michael Young. Christian Anastas. Robert Alexander Killian. Hannah Rose Makita. Andreas Joseph Santillis. Grant Davis Jones. Grace Elizabeth Rizzo.
Catherine Claire DeAngelis. Lily Grace Kepner. Jessica Brown. Nicholas Alexander Koningsberger. Nicholas Paolo First.
Jan Kolopaya. Stephen John Batter Jr. Avery Elizabeth Rowland.
And Zoe Sophia Weiss.
congratulations to us. My name is Kimberly Castano, and I'm the Vice President of the senior class. I want to thank all of the parents, teachers, the Wilton community, and you, the class of 2019, for the support that you have given us to make this year's gifts possible. It is difficult to show our appreciation with an object that represents all of our Wilton High School experiences, but the class of 2019 is proud to present the following gifts. Though our memories together are intangible, the class of 2019 has given each senior an individualized class coffee mug with each of your peers' names on it. This coffee mug will be a tangible reminder of each of your classmates and the memories you have made together. Not only will we remember our class because of this mug, we have also given every teacher, administrator, and staff in the building our mug as well. So, wherever we land next year, perhaps the faculty here at Wilton will be sipping their coffee, thinking of us while facing their naively confident, doe-eyed freshmen. In addition to the mugs, they will remember us by the donations that will put a smile on their face no matter how far away we are. We will be making a significant donation to the Sunshine Fund. This fund was created for teachers and administrators to receive support such as flowers and cards when they are experiencing an important event in their lives. Through this fund, they will continue to feel our love and support the way they have loved and supported us. In addition, the class of 2019 will install a venue-run electronic video information system. This is a digital display system that serves as a communicator between the athletic department and Warrior fans while creating an interactive experience for athletes and fans alike. We will be able to see how and when Wilton Warrior athletes set records by this system. And finally, there will be a constant visual reminder on the exterior of Wilton High School for all to see. As much as we joke about the architecture of this building, our class has dedicated campus banners to alleviate our industrial appearance and remind us that this is a place full of love, laughter, and learning. On behalf of the class of 2019, I would like to thank every teacher and parent for your continued support. So, class of 2019, congratulations again, and always keep in mind, as we move forward, there will always be something valuable that we have left behind. Thank you.
Hi guys, my name is George Murphy, and what I'm about to tell you guys right now will excite you beyond belief. I am the last speaker at this ceremony. But first off, I'm very flattered to be up here, and I would like to thank my parents, my sisters, my dog, all of them for their support throughout high school. I would also like to recognize the teachers at Wilton High School who consistently rise above their expectations. And I'd like to reflect on Wilton High School as a whole. Our class has had some divisions, just like any other high school class, along with its connections. This is only natural. And one thing that unites us here is authority. High schoolers are constantly under the watch of authority, and dealing with this authority can offer us lessons that exist outside of the classroom. The first lesson I learned was that some rules just don't make any sense. And I don't just mean math or Latin grammar. For example, all Wilton students know that crossing under the studding, brutalist bridge to get to class is not allowed. This is just in order to prevent being hit by a car or some accident like that. But if an absent-minded student like myself does walk under the bridge, being sent back to walk under it again only doubles my chances of being hit by a crazed soccer mom dropping off lunch for their child. This is just an example. This helped me realize that even when progressing into adulthood, a lot of rules are just not worth combating, and you must pick your battles wisely. But it might surprise you, authority can also be reasonable. When senior prank season came along, I felt kind of overwhelmed with ideas. A lot of pranks had to be vetoed, like beehives in the library, releasing goats to roam across the school. But Max Colburn actually came to the rescue when he volunteered to put his truck in the cafeteria. I was also surprised to find out that Max had already told Dr. O'Donnell about our plan. In fact, I was kind of nervous. I had my doubts about whether or not the administration would sign off on the idea, but they were surprisingly eager to be pranked. In fact, they would probably go farther if we didn't stop them. But what Max taught me here was that sometimes engaging authority can be more effective than combating, and to look for collaboration rather than conflict. Lessons like these have been useful throughout high school, and I guarantee will be after it. But soon, all of us will find ourselves in our own position of authority, and not just over our younger siblings. But where this authority does come from, who knows? Well, actually, I know. It comes from being able to see all perspectives and knowing your own perspective. This authority comes from learning for your own sake. This authority comes from having the confidence to be passionate and do what you love. This is the authority you have. And if you're going to get anything from my speech, other than maybe a sunburn, it would be that we have authority over ourselves, over our decisions, and over our beliefs. Feel free to exercise it. Now, the first example of exercising your authority over yourself would be turning our tassels from the right side to the left side, all in unison. And I think that signifies that we've officially graduated. I'm going to throw this in the air.